This is part 2, episode 135. The purple-brown flame was wrapped around little fairy doctor's group. It was just like a fire dragon that arrogantly rushed out from amongst the countless number of people. It brought about some chaos, as he directly rushed into the unusually hot fire path. After charging into the fire path, the surrounding temperature had clearly been raised by dozens of times. The surrounding hard bright red stones were burned until they were completely red. The hot lava below continued to splutter out like a spring. Those hot rock fragments contained in the lava also possessed quite a great lethal force. If he was careless, it might penetrate through the dough chi and cause ones to end up being completely pierced. However, this fire path, which might be quite troublesome to the others, did not possess the slightest difficulty to Xiao Yan. With the 3000 lotus heart flame protecting the body, regardless of whether it was the lava or the surrounding demonic blue fire pillars that were shot out, they were unable to cause any harm towards Xiao Yan. The use of the heavenly flame was completely revealed at this moment. At this moment, there were quite a number of experts charging forward with all their strength. Majestic dough chi covered their bodies until there was not the slightest gap formed. Although they were able to endure it and charge in, they were clearly not as relaxed as Xiao Yan's group. These blue flame possessed a mysterious effect of melting dough chi. When the two were engaged in a stalemate, the rate at which one exhausts dough chi would far exceed the expectations of many. Based on this rate of consumption, even an elite dough zone would not be able to endure for long. While these people endured the flame and lava as they fiercely charging forward, they also saw Xiao Yan's group, which appeared to be progressing in a relaxed manner. All of their eyes were a little stunned. Xiao Yan ignored these gazes. A thought passed through his heart and the purple-brown flame withered. It left everyone behind as it swiftly rushed into the deep parts of the fire path. With the help of the heavenly flame, Xiao Yan's group advancement rate was quite rapid. Within a short few minutes, they had directly passed some of the experts, who had entered earlier than them. Even though this was the case, they were still unable to see the end of the fire path. It is indeed worthy of being the remains left behind by an elite dough xing. This fire path is actually so long. It looks like some people are going to be unlucky. Little fairy doctor involuntarily laughed softly when she saw this scene. Xiao Yan also smiled and nodded. The surrounding blue flame was extremely mysterious. They were able to melt dough chi. Those who wished to rely on the strength of one's dough chi to forcefully barge in would indeed be unlucky. Unless it was some extremely powerful experts, otherwise, those who could rely on dough chi to pass through such a long fire path would be an extreme minority. Based on Xiao Yan's expectations, it was likely that just this entry fire path would have eliminated many people. Hey, isn't that the Ice River Valley's group in front? Tian Huazunja swept his eyes over the front of the tunnel and suddenly said. Xiao Yan raised his brows and took a glance upon hearing this. Indeed, he saw a large cluster of white-colored fog permeating the area a short distance in front. One could vaguely see some human figures within the fog. Xiao Yan was extremely familiar with those cold air. It was the unique icy cold dough chi of the Ice River Valley. Humph. While Xiao Yan's group eyes were being shot over, Bing Hizunja, who was within the icy cold fog, also appeared to have sensed Xiao Yan's group behind. Immediately, he let out a cold snort. He waved his large sleeve and the cold air that wrapped around the experts from the Ice River Valley transformed into a cold glow. Its speed swiftly increased and disappeared from the sight of Xiao Yan's group. These terrible characters, are they running so quickly because they are afraid that we will attack them? Xiongzhon parted his mouth and spoke with disdain when he saw this. Xiao Yan smiled. With their current lineup, they would not be afraid of an Ice River Valley. If they were to really fight, it was likely that the one who needed to be worried was Bing Hizunja. Let's go. I have a feeling that something is not quite right with this fire path. Let's leave first before talking. Xiao Yan's eyes swept over the surrounding blue flame. His brows involuntarily frowned slightly. Although this flame was not a heavenly flame, it was also extremely strange. Ordinary dough chi would appear like a catalyst in front of this kind of flame. Not only would it be unable to extinguish the flame, but would end up causing the flame to become increasingly fierce. Xiao Yan waved his sleeves after uttering those words. Their speed rose suddenly as they transformed into a fire glow that shot explosively towards the end of the fire path. Xiao Yan's group charged wildly for some distance while riding the fire glow. Along the way, they were able to meet some people who had terrible expressions alone. The thing that surprised them was that the people from the Ice River Valley had actually completely disappeared. The situation is not quite right. It is impossible for the speed of those people from the Ice River Valley to exceed ours. Little Fairy Doctor's brows were knitted tightly before she finally uttered in a deep voice a moment later. Xiao Yan reduced his speed a little. His eyes flickered slightly. After which, he raised his head and looked into the deep parts of the fire path. That place was still completely bright red in color. There was not the slightest trace of its end. This fire path is really too damn long. Is the end really in front of us? Xiongzhan also cursed somewhat impatiently. Xiao Yang was suddenly startled when he heard these words. He immediately lowered his body. Those eyes of his flickered, appearing as though he had understood something. He spoke in a deep voice, "This fire path is a trap. The path in front of us is not the true route into the remains. If we continue to travel through the fire path, the Do Qi within our bodies will be exhausted sooner or later. If this fire path is not the true entrance, where is the true entrance then?" Little Fairy Doctor raised her eyebrows. Her eyes also looked towards the bright red walls beside her when she spoke. Those walls were built from an extremely hard bright red magma rock. Even Xiao Yang's group was unable to identify just what this kind of rock was. However, it was definitely not an ordinary thing if it could be selected by an elite Doshing to build this remains. It was obvious that one should not attempt to break it with brute force. Xiao Yang revealed an expression of deep thought. His eyes suddenly shifted downwards a moment later. Finally, he paused it on the bright red viscous magma below and slowly said, "The reason why the members of the Ice River Valley had disappeared is likely because Binghe Zunja had discovered the true entrance. However, the left, right and top of this tunnel are rock walls." "You mean, the path is not in front but below?" Little Fairy Doctor asked in surprise. "The owner of this remains is indeed cunning. Which ordinary person would leap into the lava for no reason?" Tian Huozunja's face was similarly a stunned one. No wonder the members of the Ice River Valley was in a hurry to shake us off. They are actually unwilling for us to find the true entrance. Xiao Yang laughed. He gave a reminder to everyone before waving his sleeve. Purple-brown flame wrapped around everyone. With a splash sound, they directly entered the hot bright red lava. Xiao Yang's group swiftly sunk after entering the lava. Although the lava was hot, it posed no obstruction to everyone, who had the protection of a heavenly flame. Hence, after this sinking continued for around a minute, everyone could hear a slight muffled sound. The area under their feet became empty and they fell for a certain distance. Finally, their feet once again stood on the icy cold ground. Everyone hurriedly raised their heads to take a look after their feet landed. A shocked expression immediately covered their faces. The bright red lava appeared like numerous huge pythons above their heads. They adopted a ring shape as they hung above in a distorted manner. One could vaguely see some human figures occasionally rushing past the fire path. Clearly, this lava was the fire path that Xiao Yang's group had traveled through earlier. If one was to really follow such a long fire path, there was no telling just how long it would take to travel to the end. It is indeed deserving of being an ancient remains. To think that it has actually fooled everyone. If these people reached the end of the fire path, after much difficulty, only to discover a rock wall at the end, would they end up being so furious that they would die on the spot? Xiao Yang looked at the bending fire path and involuntarily spoke in a somewhat gloating manner. Little Fairy Doctor's group also involuntarily laughed upon hearing this. It seems that those who has entered in the past has never found the true entrance. However, perhaps it is because of the seal, but these traps were also not completely activated. Therefore, it had allowed some lucky fellows to enter, Little Fairy Doctor reasoned. Xiao Yang nodded. His eyes swept around. The current location of theirs was an extremely spacious large stone path. The path extended for a great distance. It was possible to vaguely see a square there. There seemed to be some human figures on the square. Let's go. This place should likely be able to truly enter the remains. However, our target is the soul baby fruit. We will let them go and snatch for the Tian class Do skill first. We will discuss about everything else once we have obtained the soul baby fruit. Xiao Yang mused for a moment before speaking in a solemn manner. Everyone nodded upon hearing this. Once we enter the hall, the matter of finding the soul baby fruit will be left to Ziyang. Ziyang, you have a special perception when it comes to finding this kind of natural treasure. It will be much faster for you to search for it rather than all of us randomly doing so. Xiao Yang looked towards Zi Yang and instructed. This is a small matter. Leave it to me. Zi Yang nodded. She was extremely happy to take the initiative when it came to searching for natural treasures. Xiao Yang also smiled when he saw this. His toes pressed on the ground and his body transformed into a blurry figure that rushed towards the square in the distance. Little fairy doctor, and the rest swiftly followed from behind. The path was not considered long. With the speed of Xiao Yang's group, they had appeared on the square after a couple of minutes. At the same time, they discovered that there were already quite a number of people who had arrived on the square beforehand. Most of these people were those who were the fastest to charge in. Amongst them include the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, Ice River Valley, etc. The sudden appearance of Xiao Yang's group also attracted the attention of everyone on the square. Bing Hezunja frowned slightly. Clearly, he did not expect that Xiao Yang's group would discover the mystery of the fire path so quickly. Xiao Yang ignored these gazes. His eyes paused at the edge of the square when he stepped into the place. There was an extremely heavy stone door at that spot. 10 straight spear-like bodies stood at that spot without any movement. The skin of these bodies were bright silver in color. Their eyes were hollow and they were expressionless. It was as though they were some old corpse. Earth Demon Puppet. The corner of Xiao Yang's eyes twitched involuntarily when he saw the existence of these corpse-like beings. His heart was extremely shocked as he muttered. Xiao Yang was likely the person who was most familiar with this kind of silver puppet amongst those present. This was because he had also refined one of his own. Moreover, this current Earth Demon Puppet had already evolved until the Sky Demon Puppet stage. Those puppets outside of the stone door were completely bright silver. Clearly, they were still at the Earth Demon Puppet level. Based on Xiao Yang's estimation, these 10 Earth Demon Puppet should have the strength equivalent to the peak of the Do Zone class. They could already be considered quite strong. However, it would be a little lacking if one wished to stop the many experts from the Central Plains with just them alone. Looks like the true remains is behind this stone door. Little fairy doctor looked at this heavy stone door and softly said. Yes. However, the stone door is tightly shut. There's also a faint spatial fluctuation on it. Clearly, one cannot use brute force to open it. In that case, the method to open it would likely lie in these 10 puppets. Xiao Yang nodded slightly. His eyes swept once around and discovered that most people's eyes were pausing on the puppets. Clearly, all of them understood this in their hearts. Currently, there is no need for us to attack. There will naturally be people who will take care of this kind of thing, Qian Huozunja laughed. Xiao Yang involuntarily smiled and nodded upon hearing this old cunning laughter of Qian Huozunja. They stood randomly on a remote part of the square and watched the action of everyone present. While Xiao Yang's group remained quiet, the square experienced some private conversations and hesitation before a grey-clothed old man slowly stepped out. From his vast and mighty aura, he was obviously an elite Dozun. However, a glance from Xiao Yang's group allowed them to recognize that this old man was merely just a one-star Dozun. The sect that this grey-clothed old man belonged to was one that Xiao Yang had never seen before. However, he did not think too much about it. The Central Plains was extremely vast. There was an unknown number of hidden experts within it. The strength that some of the low-profile factions had was not much weaker than those renowned factions. The old man slowly walked out in front of the many gazes. Vast and mighty Do Qi lingered around him, as he directly walked into the area surrounded by the 10 Earth Demon Puppet. That manner appeared as though he had an exceptionally great courage. Crack! When that old man was around 100 feet into the stone door, those 10 statue-like unmoving figures emitted a low and deep bone-cracking sound. Immediately, 10 icy-cold empty eyes directly stared at the grey-clothed old man. Their hands were clenched and silver light surged from them. 10 bright silver long spear appeared in their hands. Bright silver light flashed. The 10 figures were just like lightning as they carried a sharp wind and attacked the grey-clothed old man. Ha ha, it is merely a couple of broken puppets. Yet, you are intending on blocking the old me. That grey-clothed old man laughed out loud upon seeing this. He charged into the group of puppet without any weapon in his hands. Majestic Do Qi surged. Each time he swung his fist, he would force a puppet backwards. Xiao Yang involuntarily shook his head as he looked at the grey-clothed old man, who was not at a disadvantage despite fighting against 10 alone. The gap between the Dozong and Dozun class was too great. Although these 10 puppets had successfully blocked the grey-clothed old man, it was obvious from this situation that they would not be able to endure for long. Clang! Silver light danced within the battleground. The grey-clothed old man directly forced 3 puppets back. His hand, which contained a deep yellow color, left a half-a-finger-deep palm imprint on the puppet's body. Roar! With their continuous defeat, the 10 earth demon puppets suddenly paused their footsteps. Silver glow flashed in their eyes and a low and deep roar was actually emitted from their throats. Immediately, their footsteps moved in an orderly manner and immediately formed a strange formation. Silver glow flickered. Waves after waves of silver snake-like energy surged out from within their bodies. After which, they were directly connected to each other, forming a circular ring in the process. Roar! The moment the circular ring was formed, the leading earth demon puppet's throat once again emitted a roar. Immediately, the silver glow weakened in front of Xiao Yan's stunned eyes. A little golden light gradually appeared. A moment later, the golden light completely replaced the silver glow. It has actually evolved. Xiao Yan's eyes involuntarily shrunk a little upon seeing this scene. He clearly understood just how difficult it was for the earth demon puppet to evolve into the sky demon puppet. Back then, the earth demon puppet had absorbed a lot of pill lightning in order to evolve at the last moment. Yet, this earth demon puppet had actually completed this within a short instant. It is the effect of the formation. No wonder it is something left by an elite Do Xing. The strange formation of 10 earth demon puppet together is sufficient to contend against a 2-star Do Zun. This old fellow is going to be unlucky. Xiao Yang swiftly calmed down and softly muttered to himself after the shock in his heart continued for a moment. That gold-yellow sky demon puppet in the battleground stomped on the ground. Crack lines spread while its body emitted a swoosh sound and appeared in front of the old man, who had experienced a drastic change in expression. His fist, which contained a golden light, was violently swung out. Bang! Faced with the extremely powerful fist, that old man hurriedly used all of his strength to meet it. At this moment, however, his natural and unrestrained manner was no longer present. The heaven demon puppet, after evolving, had a strength that was far from what he could imagine. Immediately, a deep sound appeared. A muffled snort was emitted from his throat and a trace of blood surfaced from the corner of his mouth. He staggered backward at the same time. After the old man withdrew by a distance of 100 feet, the sky demon puppet once again withdrew its fist. Its body flashed and appeared outside of the stone door. The golden light disappeared and it once again turned into an earth demon puppet, which stood guard at that spot. This kind of unexpected occurrence had also caused the faces of quite a number of people to change. They might not be afraid of 10 earth demon puppet at the peak of the Do Zone class. However, this sky demon puppet, with the strength of a 2-star Do Zun, caused them to fear it greatly. This thing did not possess any sense of pain. It was no different from a killing machine. There were indeed experts present who could finish it off. However, even if one defeated it, one would end up being greatly exhausted. Who would be willing to experience such an exhaustion before even seeing the remains? Those people present did not have such magnanimity. For a moment, the square descended into an embarrassing atmosphere. Everyone wanted to enter, but no one was willing to engage in a life and death battle with these puppets. Xiao Yang narrowed his eyes. His eyes directly looked towards the 10 puppets. An expression of desire flashed across his eyes. If these puppets really only possessed the strength of the peak of the Do Zone class, he might really not be interested in them. However, if they could reach a 2-star Do Zun level sky demon puppet, it was a different matter altogether. Moreover, Xiao Yang was also extremely interested in the mysterious formation of the earth demon puppet. If he added his sky demon puppet into it, it was likely that the strength of the sky demon puppet would rise greatly within a short period of time. His sky demon puppet was currently able to fight against a 3-star Do Zun. If he was to add these 10 earth demon puppets and the formation to aid it, it was likely that it could even fight against a 5-star Do Zun. This allure was sufficient to get Xiao Yang to act personally. Help me keep an eye on the others. A silver glow flickered in Xiao Yang's eyes as he softly spoke to little fairy doctor. His toes immediately pressed on the ground, and his body rushed over everyone's head like a large bird, and steadily landed 100 feet from the stone door. Since no one is going to attack, allow me to be the first to do so. Everyone was startled as they looked at Xiao Yang, who had suddenly stepped forward. Some of those, who had an enmity with Xiao Yan, frowned slightly. Given their understanding of the latter, this fellow was too shrewd. How would it be possible for him to take the initiative to deal with these troublesome puppets? This little fellow has taken the initiative to show himself. He definitely has some motive. Feng Qing frowned slightly and softly said. The white-haired man by the side glanced at Xiao Yang's back and laughed. He actually slowly walked out and said, with your one-star Dozun strength, you cannot even be compared to the first elder of the ground Xian sect earlier. I think you should forget about it. Coincidentally, I am quite interested in these puppets. If I bring them back to act as door guards, it would appear quite domineering. This person's eyes were extremely sharp. He appeared to have seen through Xiao Yang's intention towards these puppets with a glance. Xiao Yang knitted his brows slightly in the face of this white-haired man, who had suddenly interfered. He immediately shook his head and said, this is not a matter you can be worried about. After uttering those words, Xiao Yang's foot suddenly pressed on the ground. His body directly charged into 100 feet radius of the stone door. Seeing this, the white-haired man also smiled. His body flashed and he also charged in. He waved his sleeves and a sharp wind was swung towards Xiao Yang's back in front of him. Xiao Yang's back appeared to have some eyes growing on them in the face of this wind that was headed towards him from behind. His body was twisted and he easily dodged it. A thought passed through his heart, and the vast and mighty spiritual strength lingering between his eyebrows also surged out in all directions. After which, it transformed into thousands of parts that rushed towards those puppets that were emitting a silver glow. Xiao Yang had once created the Earth Demon puppet, and was clearly aware of the weakness of such puppets. If it was a head-on collision, one could only end the battle after tearing them into pieces. However, Xiao Yang did not wish to shatter them. What he wanted was control, a control that was similar to that which he had over his Sky Demon puppet. The spiritual imprint of the Earth Demon puppet's creator was present within its body. As long as this spiritual imprint was removed and a spiritual imprint of his own was to replace it, he would be able to easily control the puppets. However, this kind of spiritual imprint was hidden in a very deep spot. If it was not because Xiao Yang had personally created one, it would be impossible for him to be aware of it. Humph! This brat is really intending to control the puppets. The white-haired man had also sensed it when Xiao Yang's spiritual strength spread. He was unaware of the method to control the puppet. Hence, he was unable to snatch from Xiao Yang. However, he was also not an ordinary person. Seeing that he was unable to stop Xiao Yang, he flashed his body and appeared in front of an Earth Demon puppet. A fist was violently swung, and it landed heavily onto its body. Since he was unable to obtain it, he would destroy it. Bang! After the frightening fist landed, the Earth Demon puppet's body immediately cracked and formed numerous crack lines. Seeing this, a smile was revealed on the white-haired man's face when it stiffened. This was because he discovered that those crack lines had disappeared rapidly when the silver glow once again surged out from within the body of the puppet. I don't believe that I cannot break this puppet. A fierce glint flashed across the white-haired man's eyes. His tongue let out a sharp cry. Frightening wind swiftly gathered. A golden light suddenly rushed over just when this punch of his was about to be unleashed. A sharp ear-piercing sound of wind being split caused the former's expression to change a little. He hurriedly pulled back. The white-haired man swept his gaze around while he pulled back, only to discover that the golden light was a dark golden-colored puppet. The feeling that this puppet gave him appeared to be even more dangerous than the golden light puppet from earlier. This brat also possessed such a puppet. No wonder he would attack. The white-haired man suddenly came to an understanding when he saw the dark golden-colored Sky Demon puppet. The white-haired man hurriedly raised his head while this thought flashed across his heart, only to coincidentally see Xiao Yang slowly opening his eyes. The latter glanced at him coldly before beckoning with his hand. Those 10 puppets emitted a swoosh sound before being kept into the latter's storage ring. The process of subduing the Earth Demon puppets was far smoother than what Xiao Yang had expected. This was because he did not discover even a trace of spiritual imprint in the body of these Earth Demon puppets. This kind of situation also caused Xiao Yang to feel quite lost. Perhaps it was because the countless amount of time had eroded the spiritual imprint, or perhaps that Doshing class ancient expert did not possess much interest in these puppets that he had randomly created and was even too lazy to place even a trace of spiritual imprint. Regardless of what the reason was, When Xiao Yang's spiritual strength invaded the bodies of these earth demon puppet, he had discovered that he had already established a relationship with them. This process was without even the slightest difficulty. Even if some other random person was to give it a try, he would be immediately able to control them. Therefore, Xiao Yang's expression had become quite strange after having kept all these puppets into his storage ring. His eyes glanced towards the grey-clothed old man, who was being beaten to the point of vomiting blood earlier. He quietly thought in his heart about whether this old fellow would vomit blood from anger, should he be aware that the method to pass through this place was so simple that it caused one to feel a disbelief. This little fellow, he has actually subdued those puppets. Everyone on the square was looking at Xiao Yang in a speechless manner, while that strange thought rose within Xiao Yang's heart. It had only been 2 to 3 minutes, but the 10-peak Dozone class powerful puppet, which could even fight against a 2-star Dozon with their combined strength, had actually landed in Xiao Yang's hands. For a moment, the expressions of quite a number of people became exceptionally interesting. The envy and jealousy within their eyes could not be hidden. A puppet that had the strength equivalent to a 2-star Dozon. This was sufficient to stir the envy of anyone regardless of where one placed it. These people, especially those who had some grudge with Xiao Yang like Lei Zunjia, Bing He Zunjia and the rest, were envious and unwilling to resign to the situation. The stronger the strength around Xiao Yang meant that the threat towards them would be greater. Xiao Yang merely took a glance and withdrew his sight in the face of the gazes from these fellows. No matter how these fellows view him with dislike, they would not dare to attack him here. The motive of this trip of theirs was the Qian class Do skill within the remains. How would they dare to engage in a life and death battle with Xiao Yang's group before they obtain it? Creak. Soon after Xiao Yang kept those 10 puppets into his storage ring, the tightly shut stone door emitted a creaking mechanical sound. That heavy thick stone door was also slowly opened to reveal a hole. A desolate, ancient aura slowly drifted out following the gradual opening of the stone door. This caused quite a number of people to adopt a solemn expression. An item from the ancient times was quite scared to quite a number of people. Upon seeing the opening stone door, Xiao Yang's figure moved and gently drifted backwards. After which, he once again returned to his position from earlier. The corner of the mouth of quite a number of people twitched upon seeing this action of his. They quietly cursed crafty brat in their hearts. It was obvious that Xiao Yang did not wish to be the first to enter this mysterious remains. The main door was slowly completely opened and the creaking sound also gradually halted. Everyone on the square looked at each other. However, no one took the lead to walk in. Xiao Yang ignored the silence on the square. He rubbed the storage ring with his finger. The smile on the corner of his mouth was quite brilliant. It was unexpected that he had obtained such a treasure after just having entered the remains. This was considered good luck. There were occasionally some experts who would hurry over from outside of the square. Clearly, they were experts who had discovered the secret of the fire path. Upon seeing an increasing number of experts gathering at this place, those experts and factions that were the first to arrive became a little impatient. A moment later, there was finally someone who could not endure it any longer, and took the lead to slowly walk into the stone door. Fortunately, no miserable cry appeared this time around. Everyone suddenly sighed in relief upon seeing that nothing happened to the leading goat. Let's go. Xiao Yang smiled slightly. He let out a low cry as his foot stomped onto the ground. His body transformed into a black shadow that rushed into the remains behind the stone door with lightning-like speed. Little fairy doctor, and the rest quickly followed behind him. This cunning fellow. Quite a number of people cursed in their hearts when they saw Xiao Yang moving immediately after seeing that there was no danger. They also quickly moved their bodies and raised their speed to the maximum. All of them flooded into the large hall like floodwater. Xiao Yang's group was quick to charge in. In the blink of an eye, they had already entered the stone door. After which, their speed was reduced. Their eyes were stunned as they watched the scene that appeared in front of them. The thing that appeared in front of them was an incomparably large hall. A person would feel exceptionally tiny when standing in this large hall. Everyone looked around them and discovered that there were quite a number of deep corridors around the large hall that extended to an unknown location. At this moment, there were already quite a few factions and experts who had charged in. They had begun to separate and rush towards those pathway. Ziyang, can you sense something? Xiao Yang knitted his eyebrows as he looked at these pathways with ends that could not be seen. He turned towards Ziyang by the side and asked. This place was still the entrance area of the large hall. Its interior would definitely be even more complicated. They would really have a tough time searching if they charged around randomly. I am able to sniff some scent of medicinal ingredients. However, it is very vague. Ziyang twitched her nose and said. Lead the way. Xiao Yan hurriedly said with some joy. Understood. Ziyang nodded. She identified their direction before rushing towards a path at the left of the large hall. Xiao Yan's group hurriedly followed. The pathway of the large hall was extremely wide. The couple of them appeared, just like little birds flying within it. It was also possible to see some other experts coming to seek for treasures along the way. Fortunately, they did not head over and disturb Xiao Yan's group. There were occasionally some rooms located at the two sides of this path. At times, a large group of people would swarm over like bandits and began to thoroughly search the rooms. Although this action was very barbaric, there were indeed some lucky fellows who had found some chi method and do skills. However, their class were not very high. The best of all them had only reached the D class. Even though this was the case, the one who obtained the treasure would still end up attracting quite a number of fiery hot gazes. While Xiao Yang's group was following the medicinal ingredient scent in their search, they would occasionally barge into a couple of rooms, but they did not obtain anything useful. It was likely that the true treasures were not kept in these places. Seeing that these rooms would not provide much reward, Xiao Yang's group also completely withdrew their attentions from them. They focused on following behind Ziyang. After they had flew for around 15 minutes or so in the corridor, Ziyang at the front gradually came to a halt. The eyes of Xiao Yang's group were instantly thrown towards the front after seeing Ziyang coming to a halt. There was an extremely ancient stone door at that spot. A great amount of moss had climbed over the stone door, allowing one to sense just how long had passed. This place has the densest scent of medicinal ingredient. It is likely this is where the medicinal ingredients are stored. I wonder if they are spoilt after so many years. Ziyang pointed at the stone door and said. Unlikely. An elite Doxing has many ways to preserve medicinal ingredients forever. Xiao Yang shook his head. He slowly stepped forwards and carefully checked the place. Only after discovering that there was no trap did he use his strength to push the stone door open. Rumble. Amidst a low and deep noise, the moss-covered thick heavy stone door was being slowly pushed open. Waves of rich medicinal fragrance that had been hidden for countless number of years immediately surged out. It caused the mind of everyone to be braced. A surprise also flashed across Xiao Yang's eyes when he sniffed this fragrance. He increased the strength on his hand and the stone door was completely pushed open. A glaring bright light shot out the instant the stone door was fully opened. This caused the eyes of Xiao Yang's group to be narrowed. They swiftly took 2 steps back and the Do Qi within their bodies also swiftly began to circulate. They were prepared to intervene in any sudden unexpected situations. The light gradually weakened and everyone's eyes were once again opened. Immediately, they gently inhaled a breath of cool air. Behind the stone door was not a stone room as everyone had expected. Instead, it was a forest, an ancient forest that was completely made up of various rare and precious medicinal ingredients. Damn it, compared to the medicinal ingredients here, the 10,000 medicinal mountain range of mine is really nothing. Xiongzhon looked at these many medicinal ingredients that were extremely rare in the outside world. His face was completely stunned. Xiao Yang was also violently stunned by this ancient forest, which was completely made up of rare and precious medicinal ingredients. It was a long time later before he gradually recovered. He swiftly pulled everyone in before shutting the stone door behind them. Although he knew that this was not very useful to those bandit-like fellows, this would at least cause some people to miss it. Such a frightening medicinal ingredient reserve definitely possessed an allure that could not be resisted to some factions. Wow, this is a good place. Ziyang's eyes appeared to have countless number of tiny stars in them at this moment. She wiped off her saliva and finally leaped without being able to control. After which, she reached into some Ganoderma with an extremely rich energy and grabbed it. She subsequently stuffed it into her mouth. The medicinal ingredients here had an exceptionally dense energy after having grown for countless of years. This was a great nourishment for Ziyang. Although its taste was a little inferior before having undergone Xiao Yang's refinement, the rich energy was able to allow Ziyang to bolt out the taste. Xiao Yang felt neither able to laugh nor cry when he saw this action of hers. His gaze swept around him and forcefully endured the impulse to place all the medicinal ingredients in this forest into his storage ring. With a wave of his hand, he walked towards the deep parts of the forest. Currently, there was not much time for him to take all of the medicinal ingredients here with him. Let's go and find the soul baby fruit first. Little fairy doctor's group nodded. After which, she pulled Xiao, who was lying within the medicinal ingredient pile and refusing to move, up. Next, they followed Xiao Yan and walked into this ancient forest. This video will end here.